Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boo Shakalaka podcast. I am your host, Tiffany, and I'm joined by my co-host, Pierre.
Everybody.
Hello, are you there?
Hey, everybody.
Oh, is this your take on Roger L. Moore's Ghostface?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Or am I taking a large dump? We don't know.
Please, I hope you're not taking a dump. Well, it'd probably be echoing in the background if you were to be doing that. Well, we are happy to be back, and this week we are doing Scream. We're doing our review on 1996 Scream. Yeah, I actually remember watching this movie in the theaters. How many people can actually say that? I'm sure it's a lot of us, but
No one alive.
ah,
Scream debuted December 18th, 1996, and was directed by Wes Craven, written by Kevin Williamson. R.I.P. to Wes Craven. An icon, a legend.
he is the
and
moment.
she is the moment. Oh man.
We were thinking the same thing. Yes. A couple episodes ago during our Goosebumps series, I told the story about how I was either 12 or well, it came out December 1996. Okay, so as a 13-year-old, could not go and watch rated R movies, of course, and they were really buckling down on Scream. Um, Obviously because it was a teen horror, and it was rated R, so the movie theaters were checking IDs and everything. But I told the story of how my mom was forced to go see the movie with us because we cannot get in without an adult, and my friends were staying by my house that weekend. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I think I have seen all but 4 and 5 at the theaters.
Commitment.
Right. Why? I don't
I
know.
I think I first saw Scream with my stepsister. Like I think by the time I saw Scream, it was on VHS. Because I remember, I'll never forget the poster for the VHS case,
Mhm.
or the picture, I guess. Because I was like, ooh, that guy with the long hair and the goatee is hot. Um,
What?
and he,
Who is that?
yeah,
You talking about
Skeet.
Dave? Mm-mm.
We're not
No,
gonna go there.
baby.
Not going there.
No, baby.
Not going there. Um, Scream is an iconic horror movie. The fact that it debuted in December 18th, like the fact that Scream is a Christmas movie. It's an icon. Because I think because of Scream, it sort of pushed horror in a totally different way for the 90s. I think that Scream, and also what people don't realize is, though Scream is a horror movie, it's also a parody. To all my scary movie fans out there, like literally, Scream is a parody of all the scary movies that came before it. So it's so beautiful in so many ways.
All right. Well, since this is near and dear to your heart, I'll let you go ahead and get started.
So we start Scream off with some terrible title screen, and so we're at Casey Becker's house, and we literally start Scream off with ring, ring, ring. And so Casey Becker, played by Drew Barrymore, answers the phone. And, it's just this guy, and he's like, hey, first of all, he like, hey, who is this? And she like, who is this? And he like, I mean, what number is this? And she like, who you trying to reach? He's like, I don't know. Like
Bitch,
shit
you
that would have
called
made
me.
like shit that would have made me hang up after the first 5 seconds. Like, don't play on my phone. And
Yeah,
that's
this
literally what he was doing.
is
Uh,
totally unrealistic for someone like me. I don't know. Maybe this is because we're black, but
you get off my phone. Because
what
the minute he
happened?
said, I don't know who I'm trying to call, bitch, don't play with me. This is a small ass town. Y'all have to remember, this is in the 90s, early 90s. We talking landlines. phone books. We know who you know. If even if you do get the wrong number, you literally calling Miss Morris down the street. Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And he playing on the phone. So she like, it's the wrong number. It happens. Get off the phone. Bye. He called back talking about, oh, hey, look, I called the wrong number. Why you dial it again to apologize? Now you playing on my phone yet again. At this
Right.
point, stop answering the damn phone, girl. Um, it's worth mentioning that Casey is in a house made of glass. I hate this trope in scary movies so much because of this movie. Be very clear, because of this movie, I will never get a house with glass windows like that. I have never understood that. I don't believe in it. Like, I guess because of the lighting, people think it's cute because during the day, the light just shines in on the house and you get this like ambient light setting, but absolutely not. I'm not doing it.
I
Cause
always find it so funny when people are like, "Oh, I don't want to move here. It doesn't have good light." I'm like, "Am I a part vampire? Because fuck a light. I don't want anything like." I told my boyfriend. I said I went to go get some curtain rods. He said, "For what?" I said, "For the bedroom." He said, "For what?" I said, "To put up curtains." He said, "Don't we have blinds?" I'm like, "That's not a curtain. Blinds don't block anything." I needed pitch black in the room. So I am with you. I don't think I would ever do anything like that too, unless those glass windows were like upstairs, where I could put a curtain in front of them.
exactly. So he calls again and she's like, okay, what's up? And so this when it turns a little flirty and she's like, why are you calling? He's like, you sound hot. And basic kid shit. We have to remind ourselves she is in high school. And so she's making popcorn because she's about to watch a scary movie with her boyfriend. She doesn't mention that yet though. But and so that's when he asked her the infamous line,
What's
do you
your
like
favorite scary movie?
I hate the way you said it. He's like, do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? And her scary movie
Kazam.
is and her scary movie is Halloween, which I never seen it, never gonna see it, don't have time for it. Scary as hell. I don't have time for Michael or his business. No, absolutely not. Um, so and what his scary movie is like what Freddy Krueger, he don't even know. He's just asking dumbass questions. He playing with the girl on his phone and she entertaining it. So he keeps asking her what her name is. And this is when we get the next iconic moment. And so, they're flirting. He's like, why do you want to know my name? He's like, because I want to know who I'm looking at.
What did you just say?
I said, I
Pussy
want to
Willows,
know who
Jody.
I'm talking to. and she gets freaked out because, she heard what he said. He's trying to play it off. He's trying to be all cool about it. And she's like, I'm hanging up, and so she goes and she locks one damn door in the house. So he called.
So this is another like movie trope. Okay, so if somebody is trying to get me in the house,
Mm-hmm,
immediately I am going to a closet
mm-hmm,
and I am standing right by the door with a weapon.
mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you open that bitch, it's on and popping. You're not, unless the only way you're gonna kill me is if you burn the house down. Especially when we see what time her parents get home. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh my god! Wait a minute. When I burn the fucking house down. Well, see, I'm different. My thing is, my house would not have been unlocked. The minute I come inside, click, 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 clack, 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 clack. Especially if I know my parents are going out. Click, 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 clack, clack, clack. I've
Well, I wouldn't be
never.
living that far out in the fucking woods as well. So
But if you
that's
had
number
no
two.
choice because your parents, chose to live there,
True.
again, the minute you leave, clickety clack, 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 clack. I don't care if it's the 90s and it's supposed to be safe, quote unquote. I'm not staying. Like, why is the door unlocked? I don't understand that
She
concept.
just she just had so many opportunities to leave. So she realizes that the killer is in the house at this point and she's walking around with a knife and she sees her parents. She's outside of the house and she sees her
The way you
parents
just
driving
skipped
up
all
through the
over the
road.
exposition. You skipped all over the exposition. Can we back up, please? Can we rewind? You didn't make the sound. You didn't make the rewind sound. Okay, rewind. Um, so she gets freaked out, and that's when he keeps calling, she keeps hanging up. She's getting irritated. She's going over to get the popcorn ready. He calls back and she's like, listen, asshole. And that's when he snaps. That's when you just see a completely different side of him. He's like, "No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish." And so that's when she's officially freaked out. So this is her montage. She goes, she runs, she locks every door in the house that wasn't already locked, and that's when she grabs a butcher knife from her kitchen. And she's just standing there like terrified. And then she hears the doorbell ring, and she hears the doorbell ring, and she's like, "Who's there? Who's there? I'm calling the police." And the phone rings again, and this is where she loses me again, because
She doesn't
you
call the
should have been
police.
called the police. Even if he calls back, just hang up and call the police. He has not, because in movies now, the killer would have just cut the power by now, so you wouldn't have been able to call out. He has not done that because he's still trying to play the stalking, thing with her. So my thing is just just hang up and call the police. Like literally 911, and you would have had the police. So I don't understand what her end game was
And
here.
she never lets the phone go. So yeah, agreed.
She does hold on to it's a cordless. It's one step up from itself. One step away
That
from
damn big ass house, that cordless will not work in that whole house. We used to have a 1,200 square foot home. If I was way in the back, my phone was beeping.
Are you serious?
Child?
I didn't know they worked like that.
Yes.
Oh, I thought because of the batteries.
Like
Okay.
how Bluetooth works. If you're too far away, they're not going to work.
Okay, that's interesting. But in the same damn house. Jeez.
Well, look at the house that they were in.
It was very nice. We come a long way. He reveals she reveals that he needs to leave. Her boyfriend's coming, and that's how we know that he was coming over to watch a scary movie.
He's black and he'll kick your ass.
I hate you so much. And so she's just like, he's big, he plays football, he'll kick the shit out of you. He was not big. But he's like, his name wouldn't be Steve, would it? And so, she turns on the porch lights, and that's when she realizes Steve been outside the whole time, tied up, taped up, beaten up. Of course, what does he have on, Tiffany? His fucking Letterman jacket.
He should have actually had the football gear on. That would have been better. They might not have got through with the padding.
And so that's when it's he's out there chilling, he all beat up, bruised, and she like, oh my god, she's trying to go out the door. He like, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Like, duh. Like, girl, at this point I would have been like, oh, I'm fucked, because when did he even arrive? Like, it's things like this would make, like, did they catch him on the way there? Like, I was just like, damn. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because we don't see like any cars in the road. Like when I think that they caught him. Like they probably like flagged him down and said that their car was messed up, and then they grabbed him right there.
Yeah. And this also pisses me off because, and I know the trope of football players being, big and strong is a little diluted because, we do have small football players because everybody's not a fucking quarterback. But
quarterbacks,
when we find out,
sorry, you don't know football. So he's not a linebacker.
Okay, there we go. I was like, who's the big guys? I thought the quarterback, I don't know. Tom Brady looks big. Anywho.
He got a big head.
So I guess I was just, because when we find out who the killer is, I'm like, he kind of small, but okay, whatever. So he makes her answer these questions, and they're horror movie questions. She about dumb as hell. She get the first fucking one. Like, she gets the bonus one. I mean, the bonus one right. Then she gets the first one wrong. And I'm like, girl, you about to worthless as fuck. I've only seen Friday the 13th once, and I know who the fucking killer was. It's Jason's mom. Like, everybody knows that.
Well, I think a lot of people hadn't seen the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Because did you see Friday? Was Friday the 13th the original, the first Friday the 13th movie you saw? I'm going to guarantee it's a no.
No, it really.
Yeah, so I think that's the problem.
I didn't see any of them. I've only seen the first one, and I've seen Jason Goes to Hell. None of the middle. None of the middle.
You haven't even seen Jason in Space?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jason X.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like that was a rite of passage for us as kids in the 90s.
Yeah. I saw that after Freddy vs. Jason, though. So even with, like, I was never just a Jason, because I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of Freddy, Chucky. I'm only scared of Michael. So, like, but still, Jason, I don't like old looking movies, and that movie looks old. Like, all of his movies look old, and he's stupid.
All right.
But, so she gets the shit wrong, and so Steve get gutted. Again, it happened so quick. And I was like they when I rewatched it, I didn't realize like all his guts were hanging out. Like, how did you do that fucking fast? Um,
Right.
so
Especially
it
when you
was
find out who the killers are. Come on now.
yeah, but it was just like remembering that this is a 90s movie, it was very graphic just to see his guts like hanging out. Like I was like,
Hmm.
oh my God. So his last question is, bitch, where I'm at. You got a bunch of doors, you at the back, you have two front doors, patio doors. What the hell am I? He throw a damn chair through the glass window. She go running. At this point, the house is on fire because the bitch ain't took the popcorn off the stove yet. Um,
Hmm.
mind you, they still make popcorn like that. Do you know?
They do.
Okay, because I don't trust popcorn on the stove. Ever since this movie, I will never have popcorn on the stove. It feel like there's not enough butter in there. And so she finally runs out the motherfucking house, but she acting stupid. And Casey, I'm on
She's
your ass.
hiding.
She walked out the door, but she hiding outside, and she sees him inside. And so at this point, this is where Tiffany was picking up, because she sees the motherfucking parents coming down the damn road, driving all fucking slow because they on a
I
romantic
would
date.
have booked it. Yo, I would have
It's
turned it. My granddaddy, let me tell you a little story of my granddaddy real quick. The first time my granddaddy ever saw the Thriller music video, you know, when he's changing into the werewolf and the girl
yeah.
is just sitting there and she's just like, oh my goodness, his face, his eyes, you know, it's a good, what, a minute and 30 that she's watching him transform. So my granddaddy's watching it and he's looking in disgust. He said, all Michael would have saw was ass. I said, what are you talking about? My ass running down the street. Because I'm like, yes, I would have ran. She should have ran so fast. Like, you would have been gone.
I just this oh Casey, I'm on your ass.
She would have
So
made it. She would have
she
made it to them
literally,
too.
yeah. But in the meantime, but she's not running. She's just slinking around the house. Like again, she sees him actively walking around the house looking for her. So she sees him through the glass, because that's all the house is made of, and she's looking for him. And so even though she sees her parents coming in, this this bitch decides to stop, and she look up and she see him in the window. He turning one way. He turned around so damn quick after seeing her reflection. He busts through the damn glass, and she hit him with the phone, so she escapes again. So again, Casey wanted to die at this point, because she escapes again and she starts running, but very slowly, and then she stops a million goddamn times. She got to go look at Steve's dead body, and so she's running and she stops again, and she's like, her parents ain't even parked yet, and she just stops. So what does he do? Bust through the fucking window, and that's when iconic chase scene for 5 seconds, and that's when he stabs her in the I don't know, the shoulder. And so, she fall down, crying, bleeding, everything. And, they struggle a little bit, and he starts choking her ass. And so she kicks
She's
him in the
still on the
nuts.
phone.
Why does she still have the phone?
I don't know. Her parents, so in between this little stabbing scene, her parents get home and they notice the popcorn burning on the stove and they're screaming, looking for her. They can't find her. And the dad tells the mom to call the police. She picks up the phone and she can hear Casey on the phone, gurgling blood and gore in her throat. Like she can't scream anymore because, she's losing so much blood. She's actively dying. And Ghostface, continues to fuck her up.
Like, while she's on the phone and her mother can hear it. This is why it's a good movie, because it starts off with the stakes so high, and the fact that the parents are hearing their daughter being actively murdered and dragged across the front lawn is just horrific. And so, baby, the mama go to the McKenzie's, and so she go over to the McKenzie's house. I'm not telling her. I'm not telling her. And so, baby, the mama walk outside.
And Casey is hung up by a noose, guts hanging all out. The daddy runs out, he screams, and then we get the title card.
Fun fact here. So this movie was marketed with Drew Barrymore all over the posters because she was a very big star at the time. Anybody knows who Drew Barrymore is. And so with her dying in the first scene, that's what made the stakes so high. That's what made people like, oh my God, like they killed Drew Barrymore like in the first scene.
They once again followed that in Executive Decision, starring Steven Seagal. Because Steven was a big star at that time, and they killed him off within the first 30 minutes.
So the trope, this still exists today. I mean, this is how Chris Brown died in Stomp the Yard. So that thing,
that
like
wasn't even a horror movie.
right, that them casting like a big name just to kill them off, like this is where this starts, y'all. This is, again, we are making legendary content here, okay? Scream is that bitch. um and so then we I'm gonna talk about this. Then we skip over to Sydney. She on her motherfucking computer typing up a goddamn suicide note. um what is she, because it's, I guess because computers, I'm not used to computers looking this old, because she was in like a black screen just typing some shit up. And I'm like, what the fuck is she
It's
typing?
called a DOS program.
Oh, what is that?
Microsoft DOS. It's a program that they had before. That's where you see like just a complete black screen with like white or green or blue writing on it that you type. Yeah, it's a DOS.
Uh-uh. Is she on a typewriter?
So she's typing and then boo, her ugly, greasy looking boyfriend pops
Don't
up
do
through the
this.
window.
Stop. I don't want to argue with you
And her
tonight.
dad, almost catches him in the room, but she does this trick where she puts her closet door behind the bedroom door. So when the dad tries to burst in, it locks him from coming in. And the dad is like, "Hey, what you doing in there? I thought I heard some screaming." And she says, "Oh no, I was just watching Kazam." And then and the dad informs her that he's got to go out of town for work and he loves her and that he'll see her later. So this is where the daddy's going to be. He's going to be gone at work this whole time. So that we know this is going to come back. I have a bone to pick with this movie. We know that the daddy's gone, and Billy heard that the dad was gone. But
yes, he did.
Continue.
So her boyfriend Billy and her, he snuck in, they make out, blah blah blah, and he's basically a fucking weirdo. And the whole reason he's there is because he's like, we're not fucking. And I thought we were gonna be fucking a lot sooner than this because we've been dating for like over a year, and we started all hot and heavy. You was groping on me, you was rubbing on me, you was touching on me, you was making me pre-cum, and that's not happening no more. And she like, well, my mom died last year. This is just some, he like, he's very into horror movies as well. That's his thing. And I think we pay attention to Randy too much, and we like don't focus on Billy because Billy's fine ass is all like, we had a like nice solid R rating when we first started dating, and she's like, we just settle for a PG-13 relationship, and of course PG-13 they don't show nudity.
So I'm wondering, had they ever had sex before?
I'm guessing no, because she's a virgin. But when he said R rating, I'm thinking they were just like the typical first base, second base, third base stuff, right?
That's not R.
I mean, maybe she was like giving handies. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like,
oh, maybe they were just in an oral. They were just side.
Yeah, because he already said do on top of the clothes type of stuff. So I'm thinking they were just like getting there, but not there. And I think that because her mom died, that kind of shut everything down.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And so, but it's just very childish. Like, she show him a little titty, a little side boob, and he leaves, whatever. So the next day, she shows up at school. It's cameras everywhere. It's news reporters, cameras, podcasters. Me and Tiffany, they're like, what's going? We, trying to get the scoop on everything. And so she get up there and her best friend Tatum coming. She like, look, girl, Raheem is dead. Somebody shot him. And so
Casey and Steve were murdered last night, and Cindy can't believe it. Like, what the hell? Not in our beautiful town.
Tatum don't give a fuck. She just like, they were ripped open and all kinds of stuff. So we got to give a shout out. Well, I got to give a shout out. You're a hater, Tiffany. This is when I first met Rose motherfucking McGowan. Baby, when I tell you, favorite character of the motherfucking movie, favorite actress of the 90s. Favorite actress of the 90s. We forget Rose McGowan was out here. Beautiful as hell, evil as hell. Like, what you mean, really? She's the best character in the movie. Okay. Like, I like characters like this though. Like I said when we were doing Goosebumps, I like the like how how the main character is usually like the meek version girl. I like the girl who speak her mind, don't give a damn. Like, Helen Shivers. Like, she's blonde, she's hot, and she's just like telling it like it is, and she got this little meek ass brunette friend who she got to take care of. Mind you, all these are tropes. These are all horror movie tropes. Like, the girl who's not a virgin is the bad girl, and she's usually blonde, and then the brunette's like all meek and smart, but she's but she's like always the final girl for some reason. And so so you just see all the reporters, they're questioning everybody about the murders and everything, and though she's touched by it, and that's when we kind of get an inkling about her mom. Everybody's really sensitive about her mom. Even Tatum almost slips up and is like, bitch, this is worse than when your mom died. And I'm like, God.
Right.
It's like, damn, no tact at all. So then we get introduced to the friend group. And we get a lot of icons here. Tiffany's a hater. Skeet Ulrich was literally cast in this movie because Wes Craven did Nightmare Before Elm Street, and he thought he looked like
I'm sorry, Nightmare
Johnny
Before
Depp.
Elm Street,
What did I
or
say?
Nightmare Before Christmas, or Nightmare on Elm
Did I
Street?
say Nightmare Before Elm Street?
You did.
Because he directed Nightmare on Elm Street, and he thought he looked like Johnny Depp, which he kind of does. He like wore his hair in a similar way where it's like Johnny Depp. They have the same bone structure. Okay. Tiffany is a hater.
You know what? Yes, she meets the core friends. Skeet, or Billy Loomis, Stu Macher, who is played by Matthew
Lillard, another
who
legend.
is insane. He seems like he's on drugs the entire time in this movie. Like, he is absolutely insane. And then you meet Randy Meeks, who is the exposition guy. You know, he's gonna tell you all about horror movies and their tropes, and that is our and then of course Sydney's there. So that is our friend group of 5 people, 2 couples and a 5th wheel.
You missed his real name.
Played by Jamie Kennedy.
And so we get a lot of things are important here because, you know, the girls are talking about, you know, if they, you know, what the police basically asked. And so the guys are like, they all asked them if they like to hunt. And, you know, that's when we understand what gutted means, which, I mean, you know, you hear gutted, but it's like, damn, that really does take a lot of strength. And so they're basically, you know, they get into this sexist conversation about how, you know, a woman can't gut somebody, a man has to, because you have to, you know, slit them from the groin to sternum. And so you obviously can tell that Sydney is visibly, you know, upset by the conversation, even though she fucking asked about it, just because, you know, her mom was murdered in a similar fashion. We find out that Randy works at the video store, but they fired his sorry ass. You find out that Stu and Tatum were together the night of the murder. So, you know, they're kind of giving each other alibis, even though they don't have to. This is when there's a Freudian slip though by Billy. Did you catch that? Like in the first time you watched it? When Stu was like, I didn't kill anybody, and Billy's like, nobody said you did. Yeah, I was like, well, that was fucking obvious. But again, this is a parody. So all these tropes, you know, the boyfriend did it thing, they're playing onto all this. So Sydney's supposed to stay at Tatum house.
Yeah, you're right.
She's supposed to stay at Tatum house while her dad's gone. Tatum's also a cheerleader because she's popular. And so Tatum like, all right, I'll be there at 7. Tatum ain't showing up at 7, y'all. Tatum, I don't know what Tatum doing at that school. I didn't know they even had cheerleading practice till 7. Sydney wake up, it's pitch black outside. Tatum talking about, I'm about to go rent this porn with Tom Cruise so we can see his 5-inch dick. And so Sydney get a phone call. I'm really over these teenagers. If you know there was an active murder where 2 students were died, and you know it had to do with a phone call and all this kind of shit, and
I don't think that part had been released yet.
Oh, is that what we're supposed to believe? That okay.
Yes, I mean, you got to think, this is not everybody has a cell phone records. You know, I call somebody and accidentally call somebody and hang up, it's going to be on my record immediately. So yeah, I think it was, you know, we're just thinking we're thinking with 2023 brains, not 1996 brains.
Okay, let's think with dumbass brains. So she gets the phone call and the guy's all like, you know, hey, what's up? You know, I'm trying to talk to you. And she like, who the fuck are you?
The guy, the client calls her and he's like, I'm going to slash and gash, cut another hole in your ass. I'll spill blood on the walls and play tennis with your balls. If the phone rings, don't answer the call. Gonna slit your throat, fuck you like a goat, peel your foreskin off and make a winter coat. Peace.
You can remember that, but you don't remember. I hate you. You know, Sydney's under the impression that it's Randy because he mentioned scary movies. And we all know Randy's like the big scary movie head, like the biggest one in the group. And so she thinking it's Randy, you know, she trying to flirt with him and shit and all that kind of stuff. And so he's like, you know, I'm outside. This is when we go back, flashback to Goosebumps. The bitch goes outside. She could open the damn door, talking about, I call your bluff. She's standing outside on the front porch, digging in her nose, talking about, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? And so that's when she like, all right, Randy, tell Tatum to come on, to hurry her ass up. This motherfucker say, if you hang up, you're gonna die just like your mother. Sydney said, bitch, who you talking to? I will whip your motherfucking ass. So she locked the door. She would go get her brass knuckles because Sydney bought that life. This motherfucker in the goddamn house. So he in the closet, you know, they scuffle. Now, mind you, during this conversation, she talked about how she don't like scary movies because it ain't nothing but some big-breasted girl who always run up the stairs when she be going out the front door. And what does Sydney motherfucking do? She goes up the stairs and out of the front door. It's because she latched the door when they had. Did they still make those when they had door latches? I feel like
Yeah.
they're only in New York City. But yeah, she latches the door, and so in panic, she don't think to unlatch the door, so she runs upstairs, and so she pulls her little closet door trick that Tiffany mentioned earlier, and so the killer's stuck. She's standing right there as he's slashing at her. 1996. And so she goes and she dials 911 from her computer, which I had no idea you could do.
I was surprised too.
So she dials white woman in trouble, and they show up instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And so Billy come through the window.
Here I am. Why? Why would he come through the window when he knew her dad? This is when I knew he was the killer, because he was there when her dad said he was gone in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he come through the window?
Because he wanted some pussy. I don't know. You got me. Wow, Billy. And so Billy, basically, he embraces her. He's like, "Calm down, it's okay. He's not gonna kill you anymore." And his cell phone drops out of his pocket. How? I've never seen a cell phone drop out of a pocket while you're just standing there. Maybe it was in his jacket. I don't.
Right. And the phone wasn't the size of a peanut. It would have fit snugly in his, because he had on some tight ass pants.
With skinny jeans in, man. And so
well, I mean, it was probably a relaxed fit, but they weren't that relaxed. some Levi's 501s or some shit like that.
Also, notice. Okay, so this is what gave it away for me. Billy's shoes. He's the only one in the when they were standing there at the water fountain. I noticed he was the only one with black boots, because I was like, damn, those are nice boots. But yeah, that's another thing that gave it away for me. And so Sydney freaks out. She's like, oh my God, the killer called me from a cell phone. You have a cell phone. You must be the killer, which was a little ill-informed for me. But she runs out and she, runs to the front door, even though it's like, you don't think the killer, I don't know. It was just, I wouldn't have done that, just because how do I know he's just gone? Anyway, she runs out the door. Dewey's standing there. He screams. She screams. We all scream together.
Billy is arrested.
Billy is arrested. Tatum finally shows up. By the time, girl, it's 9:00. Bitch, I'm not coming to your house no more. See, it's shit like that where I'm just like, I'm not coming to your house no more. I'm mad at you. I almost died because you was late. And then she have no DVD, no video, no, I'm sorry, not DVD, no VHS in her hand. So are we really watching the Tom Cruise movie? It's shit like that. Don't break promises. And so this is where we're introduced to Gail Weathers, I don't know what the fuck she is, a podcaster. And so
reporter? She's a local reporter. What the hell?
It don't seem like she gets as much respect. So she's the local reporter. And so, ain't nobody telling her shit. Tatum cussed her ass out like a damn dog. Sydney's taken to the she's taken to the hospital, police station, whatever.
Police station.
I guess she doesn't have to go to the hospital because the ambulance checked her out. But yeah. So that's when we're introduced that Gail Weathers is a fucking bitch because she fat shames her cameraman. So Billy at the police station, he like, Sydney, look at me, I ain't do it, babe. I'm babe, you babe. Babe, if you want to go and take a ride with me, smoke a pill in the back, and so Tatum is coddling her, making sure she's okay. Billy's being interrogated with his daddy, who looked
like a werewolf.
Like him. He looked just like him. So basically his dad's like, what the fuck y'all tripping for? Everybody got a cell phone. Get the phone record shit. Billy like, look, I ain't, I just came over because I wanted to fuck her. And they're like, oh, she said you wanted to fuck her the other night. That's when his daddy makes a Freudian slip. He's like, you went out last night? Don't embarrass me in front of the cops. I hate you're like, man, I just wanted to go for a drive. You drove to Casey and them house. Basically, Billy, you getting arrested, period, point blank. Gail Weathers done made it to the police station. And so Tatum goes off on Dewey. I forgot. I don't know why I be forgetting about this part when she just snapped on him in front of the whole damn police station.
When I'm at work, it's Special Officer Doofy.
He's like, what did mom tell you? When we're this bitch, you should be like a man of the law. Tatum ain't hearing that shit. She's like, bitch, you broke, you bald. Well, you broke, you look a motherfucking mess. Let's go. So they go out the back. Gail Weathers ambushed them. This is when you realize Gail Weathers wrote a book about Sydney's mom's murder. Sydney ain't take that too well. Then Gail got the motherfucking nerves to talk about Sydney. I'll send you a copy of the book. Sydney said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Did you just talk about my child? Don't talk about my fucking child. It's a Jersey thing." And so she beat Gail
said,
ass.
"You came in my house. You touched my child. Somebody better take care of her, or I will."
And so she said, "Get your prophylactic, get out of here." And so she beat the shit out of Gail.
He hit her one time.
She beat the dog shit out of her. She dragged up down the street. Gail was bloody and bruised. And so Tatum loves shit like this because she's a messy ass motherfucker. "I'll send you a copy." Bam, bitch went down. "I'll send you a copy." Bam, Sid, super bitch. So basically,
do you ever have two twin beds in your bedroom?
I was so glad I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you because you're a girl, so I didn't know if that was a girl thing.
So
now,
I had a bed that it was kind of like a bunk bed, but it
Okay.
wasn't that high off the ground. So the bottom part had like a full size bed, and then there was an upper part with a twin. But mind you, I was 10 years old.
I had bunk beds. That's the most I had. And it was just, because, friends could come over, blah, 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 that thing, when you're like a little boy. But she had two full beds. And then it's like there was shit on the other side of so I'm like, I thought that was weird. But maybe they didn't want to put them in the same bed or something.
Right. What was also weird was how Tatum was calling Billy perfect. What was that about?
They're secretly screwing. But remember, from what we know from sequels, maybe it's very clear Billy was not the most faithful to Sydney while she was being a cold fish and not letting him hit. But yeah, so basically, Sydney gets a phone call. They didn't fucking screen the phone call. This is when I start losing respect. Your son, a police officer. Sydney get a call after everything that's going on. We can't find her dad because he on a business trip and there ain't no cell phones in sight. It seems like if he is a businessman and he travels, he should have a cell phone, but whatever. And so she goes to the phone. It's the fucking killer. And I'm like, you didn't screen the fucking phone call? Like,
yeah, the killer saying that you basically fingered the wrong person.
My question is, look, Sydney. My question is, Tiffany, who the fuck was calling Sydney? Like, Sydney is not that bitch at high school for them to be like, "Oh, let me call Sydney because she at Tatum house tonight." Like, who calling her?
And who would know? Well, no, I take that back because in 1996, mind you, if you knew somebody's mom's first and last name or dad's first and last name, you could find their phone number in the phone book.
Correct. So it would be like, I would have rather them called Tatum and then be like, "Oh, can I talk to Sydney?" I don't know. It was just like, who would be calling her at Tatum's house if it's not her dad? We're not led to believe she has any more family, even though we know she has an aunt. Like, who's calling you? So anyway, basically, the killer is basically basically there to confirm that Billy is not the killer because Billy's in jail. So who could be calling her now?
Mm-hmm.
So school the next day is a fucking mess. That's when we find out that the Fonz is the principal, and so they're at the lockers, and so Stu's basically there to let us know Billy got out of jail. They released him, and she's like, "Oh my god, is he pissed?" And Stu is Stu has zero tact. Like, zero. He's like, I mean,
the woman he loves said he's a killer.
Like, and so again, we still get like Tatum is there to be the strong friend because she's like, Stu, shut up. Like, she's like that one. She's like she's very empathetic towards Sydney, but also like I don't know how to describe her. I feel like you're a Tatum. I feel like you're a Tatum. Like that, that friend that like you're outgoing, so you push your friend to be outgoing who may not be that outgoing.
Yeah. Like, I send my food back if it's wrong.
Okay, yeah, you're like that. Like, Tatum's that friend. And so, she's trying to console her, but also like, it's gonna be okay, girl. Like, chill out. Like, she's very like not, even though her brother is a police officer, she's very like nonchalant about the whole murder thing and her friend being attacked and being at school the next day. Cause I wouldn't have fucking went.
Yeah. So Sydney sees Gail chilling out in the parking lot, putting makeup over her black eye.
And she goes up to her and she says that she just wants to talk. She doesn't want to punch her in the face, even though she really does want to punch her in the face again, but she's kind of holding back because she wants to get some answers. And then maybe after she has the answers, then she'll punch him in the face. She just kind of she's able to hold back, which is strong of her. And they talk about Cotton Weary, who is the guy that went to jail for her mother's murder. Apparently, Maureen was sexually assaulted and murdered 1 year ago. And Gail doesn't believe that Cotton did it. Gail believes that he was framed for the murder, and she believes that the goings on right now have a lot to do with that, and she thinks that that's the killer. The current killer is the one that killed Sydney's mother, and Sydney starts getting a little doubt in her mind, like, damn, maybe I did frame, I did call out the wrong guy, but she's just not sure because she knows what she saw. She saw somebody with long hair and a leather coat leaving. So, I mean, I can see how Sydney can be so confused at this time. She thinks her boyfriend is a killer, and then she's feeling bad because I might have sent somebody to jail who is going to basically get the gas chamber. He's on death row. They're going to kill his ass because of, what happened. So she's just second guessing it. And Gail is like, I can save a man's life. And her cameraman, Fat Kenny, is like, oh my God, that'd be great, Gail. And she's like, do you know what that could do for my book sales?
Like, Gail is very much so in it to win it. Like, it's
all about Gail.
Yeah, I think because she's had so much character growth throughout the series, I think there is a glimmer of humanity there to the point that, she does. Like, I think she's like, you win, I win. I think that's her mentality because during her whole exchange with Sydney, she made a lot of good points. Mm-hmm. There are holes in your story. And so, you want to believe she's a good person, but she also is very manipulative, which you see when she meets Dewey. So Dwight. She meets Dwight. Deputy Dwight, and he's 25 years old. What is a deputy? Because he keeps saying, I'm the deputy of this town. Like, is that like I thought everybody was a deputy? Is that not true? Are they like? Are you just? Like,
I don't know. I just know Olivia Benson is the captain.
Because I was like, I thought everybody was a deputy and then you're a sheriff, or I thought that's how it worked.
Well, no, because then you have lieutenant and then you have detective. Look, we're not getting into this. This is not
because he just makes it seem like he's just so like up there, and I'm like, okay. Anywho, so basically, Gail flirts with him, and her means, not her means, but her reasoning for flirting with him is just get inside scoop on what's going on with the police, and if they have leads, basically just stuff for her show. And he fall for it like he's so damn.
He falls for it like a horny guy.
Yeah, that's what it is. She's very beautiful. I mean, come on, Courtney Cox in the 90s. Need I say more? She really looked incredible in Scream too. Oh, but yeah. So Sydney goes to the motherfucking bathroom, child.
No. Before she goes to the bathroom, she runs into Billy in the hall, and Billy's like, "You really think I still did it?" And she's like, "Well, I'm sorry, but it looked real suspicious. Suspicious."
Question.
And she's like, everything that happened with my mom is dead, and she's not coming back. And Billy's like, well, you need to get over it because my mom left. And I would have punched him she should have punched him too. Because, bitch, your mom pussied out and left her entire family. Bitch, why don't you go live with your mom?
I always wondered that because, like, your parents getting a divorce, and maybe this is a 90s thing as well. I mean, this is probably before Mrs. Doubtfire when we talked about, divorce and it not being your fault, kids. But I'm just like, if your mom and dad got divorced, why did you stay with your dad? Like, don't you have in most cases, they'll side with the mom, especially under the circumstances that they got divorced, which we'll discuss later. But I was just,
I thought
so she just left.
Very stupid.
Yeah, or did she just like leave?
I think it would have made so much more sense if maybe his mom would have offed herself.
Oh shit.
She just left town. She packed her bags and skipped town. That was it. And you're 18 years old. Like, college is coming up. You was gonna leave anyway.
So
this was lame. I really thought the reasoning was lame.
But I agree with you because I think what always gets eclipsed when we talk about Scream is how horrific this is. Her mother was sexually assaulted and murdered literally almost a year ago. she saw her mother's dead body. She saw someone leave like while she was in the house. Like, and we're also led to believe she even watched like her like get murdered. Like she was like maybe watching from afar or something like that. And so this girl went through trial and had to relive all this, send the guy to jail. Like the fact that he's act like, oh, I mean, moms leave. Like that's literally what he says. Like moms leave. Like, are you
right? You can go call her.
Bitch, if you don't get out of my
like his reasoning, like they should have made him a little nicer. And I can understand her like forgiving him and sleeping with him, but having him like that scene right there, she should have just been turned off about him 100% at that point.
Like that was crazy for him to even say that.
And she like if she couldn't get in touch with her dad, I would have been like, well, I need to get a plane ticket to. Why nobody called the dad's office? Nobody called the dad's supervisor. Nothing. Like I feel like there was just no action, even though this movie only takes place with like 2 days.
2 days, like literally 2 days.
So the night Casey died.
Yeah, and
the next night when Tatum was supposed to pick her up.
Wait, no, it is. No, it's
3 days.
It's 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's 3 days. So, but mind you, this is my question for you. Is it hard to get well, you wouldn't know, you haven't been arrested. Is it hard to get the ink off your hands? Because he pulled at his hands about, I was in jail, remember, and that always freaked me out because I was like, so you didn't bathe? You
everything's digital now.
Because I was just like, I just feel like he should have washed his hands before him.
Look how greasy he was. He could have ran his fingers through his hair and that ink would have came off in his hair. But anyway, so Sydney takes her butt to the bathroom. She said, I got to go potty. I'm out of here. I'm not crazy. Ah! And she goes into the bathroom, and these two bitch ass, cunt ass, slut ass, skankaroonies looking ugly and stupid are in there talking about Sydney, saying that she had a crush on Steve, and that's the reason why she killed Steve and killed Casey Becker. I mean, they were going off, calling her mom all kind of slutbag whores.
This is my favorite part of the movie.
Why didn't Sydney have smoke for them? She had smoke for Gail. She didn't have any smoke for Stu. She didn't have any smoke for Billy, and didn't have any smoke for them two bitches in the hallway. I mean, in the bathroom.
Wait, what?
The girls in the bathroom. She didn't have any smoke for them.
No, this is my favorite part of the movie because when I tell you, even Tiffany is like, when I tell you they eviscerated her, and mind you, one of the girls is a cheerleader, so that means you could, if you weren't gonna beat her ass, you could ask Tatum to beat her ass, and she would have.
You could have kicked her in the back of the knee.
So yeah, like they going in like she a slut, just like her mom, like, and it's just like, again, they really are like eclipsing over the fact that y'all live in a small town where a woman was like raped and murdered. Like it's just, I feel like they don't talk about how really horrific that is. Like, oh my God.
Right, especially in a small town. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just like y'all know Miss Marine. You know what I mean? Like it's not like y'all know.
She was the candy lady.
Y'all know City Mama. So it's just like very, very odd that they are just like, she like her mom was a tramp. Like, and so that's basically the point of this is to give us exposition on Sydney's mother, and that, because again, even with the whole Cotton thing, we are led to believe her mother was having an affair with him. So, I basically her mother is, what do you want to call it? Sexually free, even though she has a husband. She in an open marriage and he don't know about it. And so Sydney don't do a damn thing about this. Like she lets them walk out. Like she really didn't have no, like, you just punched Gail. Okay, maybe her hand was hurting and she didn't want to take on both of them. So she go out and she crying and shit. And so she starts hearing voices in the bath. Tiffany, this bathroom was disgusting. Rewatching stuff is so hard because that was a disgusting girl's bathroom. Like there was paper all over the floor. The toilet seats had like brown shit on them. I was like, ew, like, oh my God. And so she starts hearing like Sydney in the bathroom and she don't fucking leave. She just, is anyone there? And, she still continues to fiddle. What is she even doing in the bathroom at this point? Because she ain't even fixing her damn hair. But, she keeps hearing it again, like little whispers and everything. And so she gets on the bathroom floor, the dirty bathroom floor, and she looking, underneath all the bathrooms. And so that's when two black boots come down off the toilet seat. And that's when, you see, somebody put on a black costume, and baby, they come out the bathroom, Sydney sliding under them, she run out and run scared and all this shit.
I don't think I think that was one of those. Oh, we did skip a part. There were some idiot teens running through the hallway with the Scream costume on, with the
Yeah.
Ghostface costume on, and the principal had them down there, and he's cutting up the mask, telling you little fucks, you get out of here, you're suspended. And they're like, no, motherfucker, you can't suspend us. And he's like, you think I'm playing with you?
It was very he would have got fired.
He
like
was
when
so,
the way
so,
he took
so
them
aggressive.
scissors, the way he took them scissors and like ran it across his shirt, I was like, and he's snapping it at their faces. Like, I mean, I get that in the 90s that might have been acceptable, but like touching me with scissors, sir, you're getting fired.
Right, but
this is when
I don't think it was them, because obviously she ran into Billy in the hallway, so it couldn't have been him. And then Tatum left with Stu.
Yeah.
So I think that obviously was just somebody fucking around, playing, messing around.
Well, I noticed he didn't have a knife in his hand, so yeah, it probably. But still, that's creepy. Like the fact that they're making light of it is very creepy. Like,
right, I don't understand how people think this is funny. Like, you'll see like videos of, I saw this video the other day of this girl being actively bullied by another girl, and people were just recording, and then at the end of the video, some other girl comes up and whoops the bully's ass.
Oh, I remember, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that shit.
I never saw, I don't know if you did, I don't know if your high school experience was different, but I never actively saw anybody bullying somebody. I don't know if I can fight. I've never been in a fight, but I would have stood up and be like, what is wrong with you? Why are you obsessed with this person?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've never seen like bullying like that happen.
And especially,
it's usually like the rumors and stuff. Like, it's
right.
never.
And why would you bully somebody because her mom? Who cares if her mom was a slut? That doesn't mean she deserved to die, because guess what? These other people that she's sleeping with agreed to sleep with her.
Quite
He
literally.
didn't drug them and take advantage of them, so they're all sluts if you really think about it.
Very much so. I totally agree. I just. Even with the whole, because like we're led to believe that everybody liked Casey and Steve, so it's like, why are y'all? I don't know. Maybe this is like 90s shit. I still to this day don't understand the concept of somebody literally just died a day ago and we got the costume, so we're gonna scare. I don't get it. Maybe I don't get it. Okay, and so because of the spook, like because their kids are running around being assholes, they decide to cancel school and put everybody under a curfew. They're terrified, even though like only 2 murders. Like, now this is where I'm like, because even it's only been 2 murders and they all happen and they both happen at the same time, but they're still putting everybody under curfew and everything. Like, he's technically not a serial killer.
Well, 2 murders and an attempted murder.
Yeah, but it just seems. But that was, it didn't happen at school, so it was just like,
no, that's why they did. So when they attacked Sydney the last time, she had to have told, and that's when they closed the school down.
Okay, so that's where it is.
And then so they close the school down, and then here comes Stu's character, party at my house tonight.
And like, this is when Tatum pisses me off a little bit, because it's just, again, everybody's happy because school's out. They're teenagers. We get that part. But it's just like, and this is where another trope comes. Let's go to a secluded house with no cell service and no adults during a murder spree. Like,
right. The police would have gave me a cell, bitch. I would have went home, got my desktop, got a pack of clothes, and went to sleep in that jail. They got showers in there. There's no way. So like, Sydney's house is super far away from everything, and Stu's house is super far away from everything, but Tatum's house is in like a regular residential neighborhood. So if anything, I would have been staying there.
Yeah, it just was very eerie. And so that's when we skip back to the principal. I'm sorry. Basically, Tatum's like, Sydney, come on, it could be fun, please. Like, okay, like nobody cares that this girl's been through trauma. So we skip back to the principal. And so the Fonz is in there like, hey, and he playing with the mask himself. Mind you, the mask in this movie looks terrible. It's all scrunched and small. Like, it is not the mask we have today. I'm sorry. And so he, playing his office, he gets knocked at the door, and he gets knocked at several different doors in his office, and he's led to believe, students playing with him. That's when we get a cameo appearance by Wes Craven. He's dressed like Freddy Krueger. Just want to throw that out there. That's a cute little nugget. I try to throw in as much trivia as possible. And so basically the principal is then murdered by the killer. Like, he don't even try to fight back. And so this is my whole thing with Ghostface. you have a hunter's knife. I get it. Knives are scary. They can stab you. They can hurt you. I get it all. You may get stabbed. True. You ain't gonna pinch the bitch. Like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. He just got stabbed. I don't know. I haven't been stabbed in the stomach, so I don't know how that incapacitates you. But I just feel like at the very least, I'm gonna knock you upside your ear. You know, you hit somebody in the ear. You know, they gotta reach down. That hurts. They make an echo. You know, something. I'm just like, it's just, you know. Anywho, so yeah, the principal gets murdered and gutted in the office. Everybody gone, don't nobody hear, don't nobody care. The whole town is adhering to the police curfew. You know, that's when we get the iconic Scream music. Boom with right hand. And so basically Dewey is taking Sydney and Tatum out to the store so they can buy some snacks and some alcohol for the for the party they're attending that night that her mom is okay with her going to.
Her mom probably sleeping with Billy's dad too. Shit.
I'm just like, and you know, her mom, we only get like a brief glimpse of her mom. We never see her throughout the entire series after this, but it's just like, so you ain't gonna say nothing? You ain't gonna say nothing? And so, you know, they out shopping. And so this is when the sheriff comes up to Dewey because he eating an ice cream cone. Was he eating strawberry? Anywho.
Right. Ew. That sounds gross. Strawberry ice.
I think it was just vanilla.
I don't know. I just got a jump scare. Look to my right. My dog was standing there like, hey.
I'm so sick of Nola.
Jump scare. You know, whenever I get on the mic, here she comes. But yes.
So you know, I think it was vanilla. I don't know why I wanted it to be strawberry though. So police chief coming, he's basically like, you know, we found the phone records. Billy's were clean, which it does. Well, that's why they released him from prison. But he's like, the phone records are tied to Neil Prescott, Sydney's father. Mm-hmm. And he's also like, you know, the anniversary of his wife's death is tomorrow.
And they think he's basically gone crazy.
Yeah, so they're like, you know, we're putting up roadblocks. We're gonna do a house to house if we don't pick him up tonight. And so he, you know, they're just like, keep an eye on Sydney. Which, again, I would have just went to the police station that night. Like, all you had to do was tell me, hey, the anniversary of your mom. Like, it's just, again, you know, I don't understand the point of keeping that a secret. But you know, so yeah, that's the exposition there. You know, so they're under the impression that Neil is the killer. And that, you know, he's trying to do some sort of anniversary of his wife's death murder spree. Mm-hmm. So Sydney is with Tatum and they're at the store. And, you know, this is when Sydney pisses me off because she's just like, you know, Billy's, you know, right about the sex stuff. Like, you know, I'm sexually anorexic and I don't want to sleep with him. And Tatum's like, bitch, your mom died. Like Tatum is she's like, bitch, your mom died. Like, I think we can all understand. Like, my mom ain't died. That's why I'm fucking Stu every night. Right. And so, yeah. You know,
but that really doesn't have, like, them just talking about it doesn't really. I think it was just to push the runtime of the movie because it doesn't have any importance to the movie because we've already been over this. We already know she's not sleeping with him. We don't need like they were shoving that down our throat.
I was gonna bring that up in their next scene, but also we see Ghostface in the store with them again. In a town where there's a killer and there's a scary menace.
I think they could have cut that. They should have cut that because somebody would have told.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there are no cameras, and you know they have the the shoplifting mirrors to see everybody. You don't see Ghostface lurking around,
right? And then now I think the best scene in the movie is the
video store.
The video store.
And so this is good exposition though. So basically, Randy, you know, works at the video. Is it Blockbuster or is it just a video store? I couldn't tell.
I don't know. movie gallery.
So because of the murders in town, they're having a big, like, I don't know, horror movie. Everybody wants to watch horror movies, so you know it's popping at Randy's.
They're having a 90s kickback, you know.
And back in the day. Stu is there, and he's talking to Randy, you know, and they're just like, you know. Basically, this is when it's exposed that Randy likes Sydney, and you know he has a crush on her, and you know, and Randy's under the impression that Billy is the killer because Billy is at the store flirting with some damn girls, offering them some fucking jujubes. Bitch, don't play with me.
Just like his mama, like his not his mama, his daddy.
Like just a slut, a slut bag whore who flashes his shit all over town like he's Sharon fucking Stone. Like, don't piss me off. And so, but this actually does, because people are using this scene to echo later movies, if you didn't know. But yeah, so he flirting with some hoes up in Blockbuster. And so Randy's basically like, you know, he's sitting in the horror section and he accused of murder. And Stu's like, you know, he got released, he didn't do it. And so Randy like, of course he fucking did it. Like, there's always some bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend. And so this is when Sue's like, well, I think it's her dad because they can't find him. And Randy's like, you're a dumb bitch because I watched Prom Night, which I recently watched Prom Night. Terrible fucking look, excuse me? Like people really be like Prom Night would like set the stage, and I'm like,
I
where?
never saw it.
Girl, don't watch that
fine.
dumb shit.
That's fine. You only got to tell me once.
It was so stupid. They 40 in high school. Like I was like I've seen Jamie Lee look young. She didn't look young in this movie. I don't know if it was the blowouts or what anyway, I don't understand his logic. Like after watching it, I don't understand his logic of using Prom Night as like a way to prove that it wasn't the dad. I don't understand that. But so yeah, he's talking shit about Billy, and he did it. Her dad probably did. He's a red herring. And so Billy pop up behind him, grab him by the shirt. He all up in his grill, giving him nothing but breath. And he like, how we know you not the killer? You like horror movies, huh? You like horror movies. Here come fucking Stu following ass, playing with his ear and shit. Like, yeah, what would be your motive? And so, Randy's scary, so he ain't gonna say nothing to Billy. He backs down real quick. And Billy touching his face and all this. I'm just like, get your fucking his fingernails are dirty. Everything about him's dirty. You got on a white t-shirt, fucking blue jeans. And so yeah. So this is when we get to the conversation, because this is when we get the fact that Sydney is questioning herself. And so basically, Tatum and Sydney are at her house. She got her boombox hanging out her window, pissing me off as a neighbor. Turn that shit down. Cause like, what are you doing? And so basically Tatum's just like, your mom probably was sleeping around Sydney. Like she's basically, and this is where again the good friend in her is coming out, because she's able to have a conversation with her that nobody else is to. And I think Sydney's more receptive to hear it from her, because she's basically like, your mom probably was fucking Cotton. And Sydney like, well, they couldn't prove it. And she's like, girl, how you prove it? He was fucking her. Like, how do you literally, how do you prove that? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you, because they ain't got text messages down. So it's like, how do you prove that? So she's like, well, Gail Weathers created that rumor. And she's like, girl, no shade. I done heard a lot about your mama. And so that's when, Sydney's just like, that's when she really starts to question herself completely, because she's like, so if I was wrong, the killer's still out there. And, she's like, well, girl, don't go there. Let's just let it go. Which I'm like, no, go there. Finish this conversation, because you might be onto something. And so Tatum's just basically like, maybe your mom is just unhappy. She just wanted, she just wasn't happy with your dad, and she was just looking for it in other people. Basically, that's what she's saying. The killer in the fucking woods stalking them. Is it Roman Bridgers? We don't know.
Because we gotta get to the party. We gotta get to the party. Fuck all that shit.
Well, because I bring that up because in later movies, people have said, oh, the guy in the store and the guy in the woods maybe wasn't Billy or anybody else. It was Roman, because we know he had to do with all this.
Because he's a director.
He directs. So I bring that up because that's what a lot of fans say. Like, that's their justification.
I don't agree.
You just think it was just them, like, because what's the point of him being there?
I think all of those scenes were just there as little Easter nuggets, because him hiding behind the bushes is just like what Michael Myers did in Halloween. I know you haven't seen it. And then I think I can't remember which movie the part in the story came from. It was just little nuggets. It was just little hearts and kisses to older movies, just homage. That's the word I'm looking for. I think that's all it was. Like we're reading too deep into it, and we need to get to this party, because we need to get to the party. That's the best part of the movie.
So they show up to the party, rock music.
Dewey drops them off at this party. Why would he agree to fucking do that?
You asking that? Why did her mom let them go? Like, it's just shit like that. Like, you're supposed to be watching my daughter who just got attacked. Anyway, yeah, Dewey dropped them off. Tatum come in with the beer and liquor, and they all drinking and shit. What is with Tatum and these fucking turtlenecks? God damn it.
Short sleeve turtleneck, baby.
Like, I didn't know they made those.
I think I own one from Target or something.
Cause
they get to the party, and we see that it is a movie. Like you already talked about Prom Night and all. Yeah, we already talked about Prom Night and all of that. So they're just kind of just chilling. Like there's no music playing. They're just sitting on the couch
There is
talking.
music playing.
It's
Like,
very low. It
or
doesn't
is
seem
that?
like a regular party.
I'm sorry. Maybe that's the music for the movie. You know how
Hello? They're
you know
just it's like what kind of I'm leaving. The fuck is this? Like I don't want to be here. And then Stu, this is when Stu asked Tatum to go get him some beer from the garage by herself. She goes out, her high
wait,
beams.
wait. Because Gail is at the party too. I'm sorry. You just gotta acknowledge that Dewey dropped him off at the party and Gail Weathers is outside the party, a grown-ass woman outside a high school party. Okay, there we go.
Well, we know why she's there. So
well, that's why Tatum basically left. So I wanted to give you that.
Oh, she got okay.
Yeah, like, remember she was like, "Why the fuck is she here, Dewey?"
So this is the stupidest part of the movie, mind you. She gets to this is the stupidest part of the movie, and I'm standing 10 toes down. I don't give a fuck what any. One thing for certain, two things for sure. This is the dumbest part of the movie. She goes out to the garage to go get.
And it's cold in there. It's cold as hell in there.
It doesn't matter. The high beams were beaming. So she goes out to the garage to get the beer. She grabs the beer, has it in her hand, and she's about to go back up to the stairs, and she sees the Ghostface Killer, not the rapper from Wu-Tang Clan. So she sees him up there, and she's like, "Hey, get out of the way! What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. And they get into a little tussle, and he pulls out the knife and he cuts her arm, and she's like, "Oh shit, this is really serious. I can't be playing around."
Mind you, there's a serial killer who's been stalking everybody.
Right.
And you decide at this moment you want to get skeptical? At this moment?
Hello? Exactly. Like, so the killer locked the door, so obviously she can't get back in. So she starts doing stupid Scooby-Doo shit, throwing beers at him.
Tatum is the only character who fought for her life.
But she didn't fight enough.
Tatum fought for her life. Like she didn't fight enough.
And then she put herself in a compromising position, and this is why she fucking died. She could have continued to. There was so many tools in that garage she could have used to beat the fuck out of him. Like, first they were playing up down with the garage. The garage wasn't fast. It didn't come down it didn't slam down. It came down like a regular garage door. And she just stood there looking at him like, "Bitch, go under, crawl under. What are you doing?" I don't know. Then she tries to jump through the garage door, the doggy door in a garage. Where is that? How is that a thing? I've never seen that before in my fucking life.
I went looking for these after this movie.
A doggy door on the garage door.
It's a kitty door. Because remember it's a cat. Oh. And so this is when we get our iconic garage scene. She's trying to get through. The reason she can't get through, guys, is because she has big breasts.
Well, Mythbusters already went through this, so that's why I don't.
But yeah, that's supposed to be the trope. Like she has big breasts, and so she can't get through. Mind you, no shade to Rose, but it seems like they're not. Maybe they were big by 90 standards, but I watched Charmed. They didn't look that big in Charmed, so I was like, did she? Okay, anyway,
probably just a push-up bra.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, they do look big in this movie, but seeing her in other stuff, they got smaller or look smaller. Anywho, she get her head squished by the garage. It couldn't happen in real life. She's too heavy, but yeah. Iconic scene. Everyone knows it. Tiffany's a hater. And so
then that's when somebody runs in and says that the principal was murdered.
No, they get a phone call. They get a phone call at Stu's house telling them that the principal was murdered and hung from the football
goal. The goal post.
What is it called? The touchdown?
Goal post.
And so a bunch of the kids are like, yeah, let's go and see before they prime down. And so they get in their cars drunk as shit and go driving off. They almost hit Dewey and Gail on the side of the fucking road. I'm like,
hell, I would have went with them.
Are you serious?
No, I would have went home.
Okay, so outside of the murders, you don't think that's a cool concept for like a party? Like y'all just sit around and watch scary movies with liquor and food and girls and drinks. People have movie watch parties all the time. So
no, I think it's fine, but I feel like that's something somebody older crowd would do. Like when you don't want to go to the club anymore, you tired of that. Like I feel like these kids their age, they wouldn't have been watching movies. They would have been playing like beer pong, bonging beers, dancing, just doing stupid shit. Hey, watch me jump off the roof. Stupid stuff. That's what I feel like they would have been doing instead of sitting and watching movies. So Billy's bitch ass arrives when all the kids are running out. So we kind of skip that part.
so the kids are running out to go to the school, and Billy arrives, and Sydney's kind of taken aback, but she's like, okay, I guess I do need to talk to him because the police basically cleared him of all accusations. So they go upstairs, and Randy's like, what the fuck is he doing here? What is Leatherface doing here? And Stu's character's like, cute. They just want to make up. And then we get to this part where she talks to him about her feelings, how she was feeling, how this whole situation is making her feel. And he seems to really care about her at this point. He's not being an asshole like he was, like, your mom, you need to get over it. He's not really doing that. He's talking to her, being kind of calm, but he's also being kind of creepy at the same time because he keeps referencing horror movies. And I'd be like, bitch, I'm talking about real life. I'm not talking about Chucky, Freddy, or Jason. I don't even want to have this conversation with you anymore.
That's what she says. She's like, this is real life. And he's like, Jodie Foster, like, get the fuck out of my face.
That doesn't turn me on. This is a horror movie podcast. Obviously, we love horror movies, but if you're talking to me, talking about, hey, remember that time Michael Jackson turned into a werewolf? That's not going to turn me on. Like, that doesn't get me going.
And so Sydney is like, I wish I was in a horror movie or maybe a porno. And he's like, oh shit, like, you down? And she's like, Billy, I'm down. You look like Johnny Depp. And so they get to smooching. While they're smooching, we discover that when Dewey and Gail get ran off the side of the road, they share a kiss. Nobody cares. They see Sydney's dad's car in the woods. And so that's when Dewey freaks out and he's like, oh my God, like, what the fuck is he doing here? Mind you, during this whole party is being recorded by Gail and her cameraman, but the camera is on a 30-second delay. I didn't know that could happen.
The second worst part of the movie.
And so the cameraman is in the van watching the party, which is kind of creepy. I don't know, it's creepy. And so, Dewey runs off. He tries to get the police. Gail runs off and tries to get the
footage.
I'm sorry. The phone, the cellular phone to call the police. And so we back in. And so basically there are still kids downstairs. Like, not everybody left. So they're still watching the scary movie. Sydney and Billy up there fucking terribly. He rubbing on her breast all aggressively. I was like, oh my God. And so they get done having sex. And so that's when she's like, who did you call? Who did you use for your call when you were in jail? And he's like, I called my dad. And she's like, no, bitch, you're a liar. The police called your dad. And he's like, well, I called her. I didn't get an answer. And so she decides after she fucks him to start questioning him. And that's when I'm like, what is wrong with you? And so why you brushing your hair with somebody else's brush? And so she's like, well, I think it would be funny if, like, it would fit the 90s horror cliche if you turned out to be the killer because you used your one phone call to call me, which aren't those calls recorded, Sydney?
Right.
Like, it would make more sense that the other person called, but okay, Sydney. And so he's like, you still think I'm a killer after I dicked you down? And she's like, yeah, bitch. And so the killer walk in. Oh, she's so fucking useless. The killer walk in. He's standing behind Billy for 5 minutes before she decides to say, Billy, look out. And so Billy gets stabbed, gashed, bloodied, and bruised. He gets slit open. And so he falls on the bed. The killer chase her all up and down and around the house. She don't think to call nobody. Like, again, the house is still full of people. She ain't called no damn body. And
right. So there was a gang of kids watching TV.
Yeah.
With Randy and Stu. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like intermix in between Gail and Kenny in the car watching the kids, Billy and Sydney having sex, and the kids watching the movie. So yeah, so Stu excuses himself from the party. I'll be right back. You're not supposed to say that in a horror movie. And you're right. So Billy gets stabbed and she runs out. Where the fuck did all those kids go downstairs?
I mean, the best I can say is, like, there were some people, like, leaving. Like, I don't know, when they were watching the sex scene, one of the girls was like, I'll leave you guys to it, but we're not led to believe she just left by herself. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so she runs up to the damn attic because, of course, she keeps running up the fucking stairs. And so she jumped.
Oh, never mind. No, I'm sorry. I remember. Stu basically tells them to leave. That was a part of his thing. So he actually made them leave
right as Billy was aggressively rubbing on her boob. So that's how the other people got out of the house. But for some reason, he didn't ask Randy to leave.
Again. So Cindy get thrown out the window from the attic, but she land on the houseboat because they're rich. That's when she discovers Tatum's body. She's morbid. She's terrified. She's confused. So she go running. Mind you, Sydney, you made it. I don't understand this part of the movie because she was running through fields. She was all up through, like, she was good. Like, okay, so anyway, she goes to the van, and so she knocking on the van. Kenny answers the door. She's like, "Let me in, the killer out there." And so that's when they see Randy on the footage. And so Randy is basically, it's funny because he's calling out to Jamie Lee Curtis's character in Halloween, and he's like, "Behind you, Jamie, behind you," which his real name is Jamie, and there's the killer is behind him. So during this montage, you know, Sydney's like, "Behind you, Randy, behind you," and so the cameraman goes to, like, you know, basically save him, but then that's when they realize the killer leaves off the screen, and that's when the cameraman's like, "Oh shit, I got 30-second delay." He turned around. Killer slit his throat. All the Cheeto dust flies out of his damn skull. Like, I was like, ew.
Cheeto dust. Oh, but wait, you know, we skipped it. It could happen. So they're watching the movie. That's when the phone call comes in that the principal had got hung from the goalpost. That's why everybody left while they were sitting in the living room. So I thought that part happened earlier, but it actually happened a little later.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
why,
So that's how
why
they cleared everything. And Randy didn't leave because he wanted to finish watching the movies that he had seen.
I mean, I also want to believe he has some sort of fucking morality. What the hell y'all going about? Like, and why wouldn't they have taken him? Like, who called them and told them that? Have you thought about that? Like, who called them to let them know? Because if they're like, "We're gonna go down there before they cry him down."
So Stu left. Remember, Stu left. Stu's the one.
Oh yeah, he was go. "I'll be right back." But
yeah,
again,
he wanted to get everybody out of the house. But what if they wouldn't have left? What if they would have been like, "Oh, damn."
He knows his peers. But my question is, again, with these phone calls, y'all just taking it from whoever?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Cheeto dust flies everywhere. He stabs Sydney in the shoulder, but she closes the van, and then she sneaks out the, I don't know what that is, the asshole,
the doggy door,
the booty hole. Girl, that's the booty hole.
Not the rhinoceros booty hole and the fake rhino on Ace Ventura. I fucking hated that part. It was so disgusting.
Oh, those movies do not get enough credit. And that's the part you missed. You missed that reference in earlier episodes when I was like, "Iquinchi Uya, white devil." And so,
that's a Shikaka.
Right. I hate you for that. But yeah, this is the part that confuses me, because Sydney goes running from here, and you know, the killer doesn't really chase her, but she's going through all kinds of fields and, you know, cages and
after she saw her friend's dead body on the damn garage, she just started running. But she didn't run far enough. She should have.
That's what I'm saying. She could have just left. Like, what are you doing? She could have just, I don't know, hitchhiked. They weren't going to follow her down the road.
Her friend was dead. There was Billy was dead. Her friend was dead. She don't give a shit about Randy, and you know she don't like Stu. She should have dipped.
So that's why I was confused, because I'm like, she really could have just ran. They weren't following her.
Well, she had on them boots. Like, who told her to wear them fucking booties?
She was at a party.
At a party.
So that's what I don't understand. I don't understand why she came back to the house. That part really fucking confuses me. So Gail gets back.
Right, they would have never found her if she would have went and hid in the woods. They would have never fucking found her. She could have just kept on walking
until the sunrise came up. But I'm sure the town, like, Stu can't live that far away. I'm sure, like, she would have eventually found somebody. But so Gail come back. She's looking for the cordless. She see blood all over the ground getting on her hot ass red bottoms. So she get in the car and she she trying to drive off, but there's like, you know, red stuff, and she like, you know, what the fuck is this? You know, she throw on her wipers. She go to reverse baby Kenny on the motherfucking roof. Why they did that, I do not know. Like, that is so
how would they have done that? First off, he was a good 225, 250, and then dead weight is much heavier than when somebody's, you know, alive. No.
Yeah, they managed to get Kenny on the roof of the damn van, the roof of the news van, baby. And
the roof was on
Randy
fire.
Randy come up like, "Hey, what's up?" She popped his ass so many goddamn times with that phone. She beat the shit out of Randy, and
as so she should have.
She drive off. You know, she get Kenny off the car finally. Then here comes Sydney out of nowhere. She swerve off. She run into a damn tree. I'm like, Jesus, like, so Sydney
Yo, I
murders
was
Gail.
like, my mom was screaming at the theaters, like, "What's this so stupid?" But why would she stand in the middle of the road like that?
Because she was trying to get somebody to help her. But
Right, and Gail done went down to the terrain and ran into a tree. So Gail is out for the count. She
but
out,
then
and
again,
Sydney's still in the road.
This is when you don't think, because why wouldn't you? So you took, remember, they had the keys of the cop car, but you didn't take the keys to the van, because if she had like just stopped and pulled over for Sydney, what would have stopped them from getting away?
What did she go back in the house for? She gets back to the house and Dewey opens the door.
Yeah. Dewey.
Dewey's dumb, and she's like, "Oh shit, Dewey, you all right? You cool?" And then he falls to the ground. Here comes the Ghostface killer behind him, picks up the knife and does the signature Ghostface swipe, wipes the blood off of the knife, and then she jumps into another car, another car, club, another club, booked. Like, girl,
What the fuck? And so the keys are out of the car because the killer had time to do that. But so
I remember in the theaters when he taunts her with the keys, that shit was like bone chilling.
Yeah.
That was pretty scary.
And so this part was also scary. So basically, he just zips under the car and
oh my god.
He starts unlocking the fucking car. And it's shit like that gives me trust issues. Because excuse me, like,
how did he open the trunk without her knowing though?
That was actually because she's fucking stupid. That's actually a good skill for a serial killer to learn, because what do you do at that point? Like, I mean,
she does get the call out on the CB radio.
She gets the radio and she's like, hey, she gives them, Sydney gives them the address, telephone number. Right.
Everybody. Oh my god, that is a trope that I hate. Hello, help, ma'am, what's wrong? He's trying to kill me. I'm picking up the phone. Hello, I live at 1234 Main Street. Please get here now. I need a cop on this bomb threat. I'm calling a bomb fucking threat. Then they gonna send everybody. They gonna send a fire truck. They gonna send the CIA. They gonna send the FBI. They gonna send Men in Black. They gonna send everybody. I'm not calling for no bullshit. Like, you gotta give details. Like, what the hell?
It's not like, especially like, it's not like she's calling from a landline, and because back in the day you could call the police on your landline, hang up, they'd be at your house like, oh, he was playing on the motherfucking phone. I've done that before. And so yeah, it's not like that. Like, you're calling from a police radio. I don't even know if they got satellites yet.
Was Dewey on duty? Because he showed up in his police uniform.
I'm assuming he had to be on duty because he was watching her. You know what I mean? He was watching the prime victim. So he was watching her. So yeah, I think he was on duty. And that's his signature line. I'm on duty. And so
she eventually gets out of the Jeep and she runs up to the house, and we see Randy and Stu at the same time, like, he's the killer. They're blaming each other. He's the killer. And Sydney's like, you know what? Fuck you both. I ain't got time for this. This is like one of the smartest things she does in the movie. She finally wise up, and the
smartest thing she does is grab the fucking gun.
I said one of the smartest things. She grabs the gun off of Dewey's dead body. We think he's dead. And she goes back in the house, and then here comes Billy. Sid, I'm okay. And starts rolling down the stairs just for dramatics. I'm like, wait. Huh?
He fall down them stairs so hard. If he wasn't dead before, he dead now.
Hello, he should have broke his arm or something by accident. I don't know. And she helps his dumb ass up.
Oh, wait. Oh, hold up. Because this is when Sydney started getting motherfucking dumb. Now, understandably, he does have holes in his shirt. So it's not far-fetched that he got stabbed. He does have holes in the shirt. They open the door. He like, all right, calm down. Hey, give me the gun. Why the fuck?
Well, they open the door and they let Randy in.
Yeah. But she still hands him the gun before he opens the door, which pisses me off.
Right. Hell no. Look, I'd be like, no, you ain't got the energy for this.
Tiffany, if your boyfriend has multiple stab wounds, he done just fell down the stairs, why would you give him the gun? As if he gonna be able to do anything but literally fall over. Because you literally have to help him walk.
I think it would have made it a little bit more realistic if Ghostface would have just slashed his arm, like for real slashed his arm, and then had her run and him like trying to come downstairs. And he could have, like, since he was upstairs, obviously he didn't have time to help with anything. Like, Stu was working overtime.
Yeah.
He was sitting upstairs the whole time chilling.
they could have, unless like he pulled a ladder down and was able to climb through the window, unless that happened, he could have just been sitting in the living room holding his arm the whole time saying, oh, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to call the police. You know, make it seem like he was really helping her. But I mean, really, truly, he had ample opportunities to kill her instead of a big party. But, you know, this is a movie. He could have been killed her. So,
well, you know, it had to be ritualistic because of her mom.
Right. So he leans up and he says, oh, Randy says, it's Stu, he's gone mad. And then I'll let you do the honors.
We all go a little mad sometimes. And so he shoots Randy in the fucking chest. And Randy go flying back. Like he shoots him with the noisy cricket from Men in Black. And so he go flying back, break the
you
table.
See the nosy cricket get wicked on you with the first, last, and only line of defense against the worst scum of the universe. Sorry.
I like hate you. And so that's when Sydney goes over to, you know, she's like, why'd you shoot Randy? He's like, Anthony Perkins, psycho. And so that's when he starts licking his fingers in the most iconic way because he's sexy as fuck.
And then he like, says, ketchup.
No.
Just like my mom puts on her spaghetti, baby. Yo, I still say that to this day. I think Scary Movie was by far the best parody movie
please ever. Stop like saying that. And so he's like, corn syrup, the same stuff they use from pig's blood in Carrie. And so that's when she's led to believe this motherfucker is crazy. And so she tries to run. Here goes Stu. Because it's his house, of course he found a way in, dumbass. And so that's when Stu reveals the voice, I don't know what you even call
voice changer.
Voice changer. It just seems like there'd be a more sophisticated word. I don't know. Voice mogrifier. I'm gonna say mogrifier. Like
voice modulator.
There we go. What did I say?
Mogrifier.
It's in the dictionary. Mogrifier.
And he says, "Surprise, Sydney." And then they go over their bad guy. This is why I did it montage. I fucking hate these in movies. You have people dead to rights. Just fucking kill them. I know it's a movie thing, but fuck you.
Yeah, I feel like people don't do this in real life when they kill you. But yeah, so they're basically going over their motive, which is important.
It is.
And so, you know, you know, and they're like taunting her, and of course, you know, they got the gun, they got the knife, and so they're basically like, you know, why the fuck you did this? And so she's like, you're not gonna get away with this, and like tell that to Cotton Weary. And that's when we reveal that Billy and Stu killed her mother, which again is very horrific. Like it just maybe it was touching me
the
different
guy you
because
slept with
literally
is possibly somebody that sexually assaulted and killed your mother.
Right. Which that part I do want to question, because were we led to believe that, because remember, like Gail said in the exposition before, Cotton Weary admitted to having sex with her mom that night, but then, you know, he left the house. But what I would wanted to know was is that why they assumed that she was sexually assaulted and murdered? And they
maybe.
Like, because Billy and Stu doing it is more horrific than she just had sex with Cotton.
Maybe she's had like some crazy rough sex with Cotton. Like they were and then you know, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he leaves, they come in, she's like, you know, Cotton, you left something, and that's when they kill her. Because I feel like that would be less horrific than them doing that to her and then killing her. Because that would be
really truly. Why didn't they kill the mother and kill Cotton too?
Because they had to frame him. But
it could have been like a murder suicide. That would have been framing him as well.
They had to frame him. Remember, Roman told him to do it that way. So that's what he says.
I'm a director, Sid.
That is what he says.
I direct.
So yeah. And so that's when they reveal that they have her dad all tied up, and they whipped his ass again. When you look at their body types, they are not Stu's tall. You know, Matthew Lillard, he got the body, but
well, I mean, you got to think they could have easily just knocked the dad on the back of the head. They probably so. I actually believe that they might have taken the dad the night Billy jumped through the window.
Okay.
Because I mean, when we were young, did you when you were getting ready for school and stuff in the morning, and your parent told you, hey, I got an early flight to catch, I'm going to be leaving early, they probably wouldn't say goodbye. They say goodbye to you that night. You wake up the next morning and they're gone. That's probably what happened. Stu knocked him out and got the dad and like probably drove away in the car while Sydney was showing her TTs.
Okay, well that's even better.
And then when Billy climbed out of the window, he probably helped drag him off. And obviously she's just sitting in the room. She's all hot and bothered by Billy, so she doesn't get up to go talk to the dad. And then in the next morning, the car is gone. So she's like, okay, he's gone.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, God, did you write this movie? That makes a lot of sense. Because I was just like, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. The only thing that I have an issue with that, where were y'all? Did they just have his, like, did they put him in the car until Stu's parents left? Because, I mean,
I don't think Stu's parents were ever there. I think they had already been gone.
Well, remember, he has a sister too. Anyway, and so, or was it, maybe she's his older sister. Maybe she was in college already. Anyway, and so, yeah, they have the dad, and so basically they revealed their plan to be that their dad, did all these murders to avenge his, I don't know, not avenge, but to
because he's gone crazy, basically.
Yeah, he's gone crazy, and so because of his, his ex-wife's death set him crazy, and so he murdered everybody, and then he kills Sydney, shoots himself in the head, and that's the story. And Billy and Stu are the only ones to survive. And so, that's when Billy reveals his motive to be that he discovered that her mom and his dad were basically having an affair, and so that's why his parents got divorced and his mom left. Billy, you should have left with your fucking mom.
Billy, you why weren't you mad with your dad?
And he clearly don't even like you.
Right.
And then snitched on you in front of the police.
So their exposition. And Stu's character walks over to the counter and he's like, oh shit, we got a problem. The gun is missing. And Sydney's just kind of standing there while they have been taunting her and just like berating her for it was really gross when you actually think about it. It was like very uncomfortable because she thinks that they're gonna assault her and murder her too. Yeah, she's gonna go down the same way that her mother died. Oh, in betwixt that, they decided to stab before they kill Sydney. They decided to stab themselves to make it look like the killer, stabbed them or whatever. And they were the only survivors. Like, why didn't you do that when she was dead already? When you assured that everybody was dead.
Okay, let's talk about it because that begs a very interesting question. Because my thing is, y'all still have shit to do after, you know what I'm saying? Like, even after y'all kill Sydney, y'all gotta still set this shit up in a way.
Yes, so y'all you're dropping your blood everywhere.
Like, it just seems like very like, I was like, that should have been the last thing y'all did, because y'all still gotta call the fucking police. Like, you're gonna lose blood with them waiting to get there. Like, okay, whatever.
And the dad has duct tape all over his hands. You're not gonna wipe that duct tape off. You're not gonna clean that stupid. So they find out that Gail has the gun, and this obviously she doesn't know how to do a gun, so the safety's on. That's a trope in every movie. My God. So she goes to shoot them. She realizes the safety's on, and then they kick her like Van Damme into one of the
Roadhouse.
One of the pillars of it. She's out. She's laying on Dewey's dead body, and she's out of here. And then obviously when they come back in, Sydney's gone.
That's the funniest part of the movie, when Stu's like, I do that to this day. When he's like, the gun's not there, and he just taps on the counter.
Like I know I left that shit right here.
Matthew Lillard played this role like so amazing.
Right. So now Billy's pissed. And Stu is like actively dying. He's like, you stabbed me a little too fucking deep, and the phone rings. Stu picks up the phone and, what's your favorite scary movie? Which is, I don't understand this part, but
I guess she was trying to taunt them.
We don't have. I just don't believe that would have happened. It's just for script purposes, but like just being.
You don't think she would have been like?
No, I think she would have ran from the house because they have stabbed themselves. She needs to go get this proof. She would have left the house.
I don't think she would have left her dad. I don't think she had enough time. Because she didn't. Well, she didn't even have time to untie her dad and everything. I don't think she would have left her dad. So she taunts them. Billy is pissed. This is when Billy and this is you ain't realized he was a psycho this whole time. Like, he like, you bitch, I'll kill you. Like, he
said, you stupid bitch, you filthy slut. I'll teach you to fuck with me.
Literally, he rip up the damn couch, got all the feathers.
Were couches made with feathers like that back in the day? It was like tar and feather. Oh my God, it was feathers everywhere.
He was insane. And so he looking for her, and
this is the part that I think is stupid.
What, when Stu was like, oh, he did it for peer pressure?
No. When he goes to the closet and she jumps out and she has the mask on. Why would she put that fucking mask on?
Now that part.
Why would she put that fucking mask on? Now she's incriminating herself because her DNA is on the mask, inside the mask. Well, I don't know if DNA was a big thing in 1996, but I just think that when I saw that, even when I saw that as a kid, I was like, why would she put the mask on?
I don't know, because it's not like who else would you be? Like who, like, I don't know. Maybe a scare. I don't know.
Yeah,
She
and
stabs him with an umbrella.
Yeah, twice, but she doesn't like go for the soft part of his throat, which is where she should have gone.
No.
And then here comes Stu, and they get into this fucking brawl, jumping over the couch, hitting people with vases, feathers flying everywhere. I mean, they was really fighting. They were. Yeah. She put up.
She really let us know she did not like this motherfucker. Like
yeah, I don't think she ever liked Stu.
I think yeah, like
she tolerated him because of her boyfriend and because of her best friend.
Right. And so she kicked him in the nuts. She dropped a TV on his head. Did not know you could kill someone that way. Whatever. He gets electrocuted. I don't know how the fans thought that he would survive this, because they wanted him to be the killer in Scream 2, but whatever. So he gets electrocuted. He dies. And so that's when Randy pops up. And Randy's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to wait, no, sorry. Her dad damn, I'm sorry." So Randy pops up, and he's like, "I'm alive. I'm so happy to be a virgin." Billy revives, like killers usually do.
I don't think that the umbrella went too deep. Like it punctured it, like it opened his skin, but I don't think it went too deep in.
He like the strength that these killers be having, because he lifts her up off the ground, slams her down.
Adrenaline.
And so
they fight again.
She pokes him in his little stab wound, and then he gets ready to gut her, and that's when Gail pops him with the gun. She pop him in the shoulder. I don't know why they're aiming at these weird places. And so she remembered, like, the safety was off that time. And so they're all like, oh my god. And so
that's when Randy pops up like, "Hey bitch, I'm still alive. I'm still alive."
That's when they go over to Billy's body. He like gurgling, and then Randy's like, "All right, here comes the last scream." And so I don't understand the point in doing that, Billy. But yeah,
he said this is the part of the movie where the killer comes back to life for one last scream.
And I don't really understand
why one last scare.
I would have, like, I don't know. If you really wanted to do that, wait till their guard is down. City pop him in the forehead. She like doing that shit. And so
not in my movie. And shoots him in the head.
And so that's when the dad comes out. He's still tied up, because I guess she only had time to hide him, not untie him. And so she unties him and everything. The police come. It's a wrap. That's when we find out Dewey did survive his stab wound, and Gail gives a brief summary of what happened. And so the end of Scream.
It was rewatching it. I get really angry because there were some really dumb decisions. I get it, like when you said it's supposed to be a parody, there were just some dumb decisions made. But I mean, I do think it definitely changed horror movies. And I really hate how people compare to horror movies. Like, if you want to be smart in a horror movie, oh, it's just like Scream. It's like, no, somebody's just being smart. Like, they're not writing dumb characters. Like, let's get over that. Because that's what they did before. Like, the 80s were all about stupid characters, having sex, premarital sex, doing drugs, drinking, and getting killed.
Right.
Like, characters had no depth. You didn't care about the characters dying. Even the final girl, you just didn't give a shit. And like, now they make more likable characters who actually have personalities more than just being dead meat, pretty much.
And adhering to tropes and everything.
Correct. Like, they're still there. They still do stupid shit, but they're not as dumb as they once. Like, they were complete airheads before, and now they have some kind of common sense. So like I said, I hadn't watched this in a very long time, and I've watched the recent Screams. I will say, I give this movie, I was gonna give it a 8 out of 10. No. I was gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because I thought there were no black people in the movie. But then I realized there was one black reporter, and she did have talking points, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Motherfucker. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 as well. I will. Yeah.
Yeah. It had some parts that it needed a little bit more work.
It set the stage. It was horrific. It was gory. Just enough. I noticed in later Screams, or maybe I'm just thinking of, I noticed in later Screams, because I remember with Scream 4, I remember being visibly shocked by how gory it was. Like, when they came and just slashed the girl's throat in the first scene, I was like, damn. So and I feel like in a lot of I'm thinking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because if you remember from Texas Chainsaw Massacre in like 2003 with Jessica Biel, they didn't show like the gore. Like every time he would saw somebody, they would like cut away. They would not show like hard on gore like that. So I feel like there was a time when studios got away from it. I don't remember what might have happened like to make them stop.
I think it might have been Columbine.
Oh, okay. Because they really like stopped, and so
that's why
like,
Scream 3 was based the way it was, like being in the movie theaters, because they didn't want to make it
two
teens anymore. Even no 3.
Oh, okay. You meant studios. I hate you. Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because 2 was in college, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why they did it. But I think my biggest gripe with Scary Movie, and this has happened literally in all 6 movies, is they always kill the killer. I want a killer to fucking live. I want to see what happens after. I think it would just be easier to add on to the story if somebody lives. They could even be in jail. Like, it could be in jail. Then remember that show The Following? They start something, but they always kill the killer. Like, no, bitch, I want you to rot in jail. Like, I want somebody to come and shank you with a dirty knife in jail. I want you to be scared every time you turn around. I'm not going to give you the benefit of me shooting you in your head. I want you to fucking rot.
Considering the news, that is actually pretty funny you just said that.
Right, that Derek Chauvin, got stabbed in prison. Exactly. Like, that's one thing that I just hate. And they do it in a lot of, like, Chucky. I love Chucky movies to death.
Because he's
Stop killing him.
Oh, well, they've been yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a movie where they don't, but I agree, just because you can tell they've wanted to, because I think they realize because even with Stu, so for people who don't know, in the original script for Scream 2, they wanted to bring back Stu as the killer who was in jail, but of course they killed him, so it's hard to explain how he survives being electrocuted. So I think they even realized that early on, like, there's a lot more world building you can do if the character stays alive, because even with like Billy,
or just make it ambiguous. Just make it ambiguous. But if you shoot somebody in the head, that's it, bitch.
Like with I guess you can use it with I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, they think he's dead, but they don't really know.
I mean, trash. But
yeah, do it like that.
It doesn't. I'm not saying they have to do that every movie, because that is a horror movie trope too. But I feel that one of those killers, and I really think it should have been Roman, because they had Roman dead to rights. The cop was still alive, Detective Kincaid. Sydney was still alive. Gail was still alive, and Dewey. They could have easily tied him up and got the answers to everything that they needed. But I mean, really, truly, I think that the craziest Scream movie, even though everything that's happened, hands down, and I'm standing on this firm.
Oh God!
The craziest motive for the killings in Scream was Scream 4.
Are you serious?
She killed everybody because she wanted fans.
Yes.
Yo, that was the most.
Well, I would see.
Like, nobody hurt her. Billy got hurt.
Yeah.
Billy's mom was hurt. Roman was hurt. Scream 5. Oh, well, they wanted to make a movie, so they weren't hurt either. Okay, so I would say 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's why I was going to push back on you, because I feel like 5 with the whole, we want to 5 was, we want to reboot the franchise. I feel like that was dumber than what Jill did. Jill was a little bit more, I feel like Jill was more realistic in the whole sense of, because I feel like Scream 4 should have came out now, because we're in the age of clout. And I feel like,
yeah, I think it was a little too early.
Because
it would have been.
What was that? 2004? I just feel like
Scream. I think it was 2014.
Okay, so because that just wasn't the time when like Twitter, Instagram, like I feel like it
2011.
Okay, so yeah, Twitter, Instagram, like the age of clout, to where it's like it does, like you can literally just get popular. You can just argue with a celebrity on fucking, I don't know, TikTok or Bigo or something and become popular, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. Like the Krishans of the world, I feel like that would have aligned more with Jill's motive. than the whole we want to do a reboot. Like I just feel like that was dumb.
Right, but I mean, Jill killed her family. Like they killed people they didn't care about. She killed her own fucking mom.
Yeah.
Like, or she got her mother killed. Like, I think hers was the harshest. And I think that they wanted her to live. I really wish Scream 4 would have ended how we thought it did. With her being carted off, going to the hospital, and she's like, "Oh my God, I did it. I did it." I really wish it would have ended right there.
That would have been a good ending. That would have been a good ending.
And then they could have picked it up. But I think that's what they wanted to do. And then they could have obviously said that Kirby was still alive. They wanted to pick it up in the next movie. And then she basically has to recruit somebody else and got to fix this shit that she did. I really think
that would have been a good movie. But
yeah, I think with all the shit that's going on with Scream 7 and them firing the two lead, or one leaving and then firing the other lead character, they're going to have to completely reboot the whole thing.
Because damn, that would have been a good movie. Because it's just like, oh my God, that would have been a good ass movie.
Her basically trying to rectify everything. Yeah, trying to get somebody else. Or even they could have revealed a third killer that we didn't know about. That would have been even better too.
I think they killed, but again, remember Scream 4 and Scream 5, there was so much, like they didn't even want to continue it. Like that's the thing. I think because they want every movie to be like Marvel movies and make $100 million. They don't want to keep making like they always, go off of how much it made. And so I think because it didn't get enough fanfare, they didn't even want, because I mean, how many years did it take for, Scream 5 to come out? So it's just like, I feel like that was their only issue, but still, it would have still been a good movie. I would have watched it because that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I think that's where they should have gone. But anywho, whatever.
It's a great franchise, everyone. I would encourage everyone to watch the Scream movies. A lot of them they usually split them up. A lot of them are on Max right now. And yeah, they set the stage. I mean, there's nothing like Scream. And I just really hate when people are like, they're not scary. They're really not supposed to be scary. That's the point. Like they literally make fun of themselves.
So I think a lot of people find it weird when movies are set in reality and they don't find that to be scary. I personally don't as well. Like I have friends that will watch those true crime documentaries and they'll be like, "Oh, I can't watch horror movies. That's too scary." I'm like, I am the complete opposite. I cannot watch true crime because that really happened. Like this is fake. All these people are still alive.
Right.
So I just find that really, really, really weird.
I see, and that's how I am with like, I don't know, the Insidiouses and the Exorcisms. Like I can watch those. I just don't like to watch those because it just be too much going on. But the Ben Willises, the Billy Loomises, that could actually happen. A guy could hook and just go crazy. A guy could get a knife and just go crazy. Like, these aren't things that are just obscure. Like Freddy, no. Well, I mean, Freddy, half of Freddy could happen, but like, the Jasons, like Michael could happen one time. Maybe he wouldn't keep getting resurrected and going after his sister, but it could happen one time. So those scare me more than supernatural things, just because okay, enough is enough. Like, come on now. If a ghost gonna kill me, he gonna kill me, and then I can do about it. So I'm not watching true crime. No.
Yeah, that's you're not getting that from me. Like I used to watch Snapped back in the day, but then it just got a little too real. I'm like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
One caveat is Jeepers Creepers. He scares me just because his figure, I don't know. I know somebody with some nappy ass, long ass, dingy ass hair in a trench coat who could come get me. So he scares me. So, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
We definitely went on a tangent about that. All points were valid. But yeah, so that'll do it for this week. The decision has not been made on next week or the next episode, but since we are entering in the month of December, we have decided to do holiday horror for the rest of the month. Ho 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 ho! Merry Christmas,
motherfucker.
What?
Friday after next. Ho ho, motherfucker.
Oh no.
I hate you. Okay, so we're gonna do holiday horror.
Yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. There's so many movies out. I could be like an asshole and do Jack Frost.
And
not the Michael Keaton one. You know what? Fuck it.
Jack
No!
Frost will be our next movie. I think it's on Tubi. Let me see where it is available.
No! What?
Jack Frost, 1997.
Please no.
Movie.
Anybody who went to Blockbuster, it was the movie where it was like you would see like a snowman, and then it had one of those like changing screens.
Oh
and it
my
would be-
god, the hologram.
Yeah, the hologram screens, and it would be like a murderous Jack Frost. Like that made me want to watch the movie. I am so sad that I did. I am so sad that I did.
Fuck it, Jack Frost.
I hate you. There were Black Christmas was right there. And so
why gotta be black?
I can't think of any holiday horror movies actually. Now I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
You know what? Have you seen Better Watch Out?
Why does that sound familiar? No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, Better Watch Out. That'll be the movie that we do.
What the hell is that?
I'll build you up to Jack Frost. I won't just throw you in there to Jack Frost. But Better Watch Out would be the next movie that we watch. There's no black people in it, but I think it's something you'll like. I really think it's something that you'll like.
Black people are notoriously excluded from horror.
It looks like it is available on Pluto TV and Tubi for free right now. All right, so that'll do it for the Boo Shakalaka podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, signing out.
Goodbye, guys. Tell us what your favorite scary movie is, and we'll do reviews.
Oh, yes, and be sure to follow us on Twitter X at Boo Shakalaka Pod.
And listen to us wherever your podcasts are available. Check us out on YouTube as well.
And
don't die.
Don't die? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, goodbye.